What's up, guys? Welcome back to Reject Films. Doing the next in line for the Vestron video series from Lionsgate. This is release number 2. This is for Blood Diner. I already did one for the first release, Chopping Mall. Make sure you guys check that video out, the review for that one. And says first they greet you, then they eat you, for the tagline. It's from 1987. I don't know too much about this movie. I just know it's about two brothers that own a diner and serve people and things like that. I did just watch the trailer on YouTube, and it looks super fucking cheesy and everything like that. So I'm hoping it's a good time watching. I've heard a lot of people don't really care for this one too much, and then there's it has its following as well. So definitely looking forward to checking this out finally. And as I go down the line with these Vestron releases, and the only one I probably will not do is the Wishmaster collection, because we actually are going to be shortly doing a podcast for that series. So just make sure you guys check out that podcast for the horror movie project. And we have the Elm Street franchise up right now. Be sure you guys check that out as well. I'm just kind of plugging other shit right now, but yeah. So Blood Diner, 1987, Vestron, and show the disc art there. There's a few special features on here. You got a commentary with director Jackie Kong. You got some featurettes: Queen Kong, the cook, the uncle, and the detective. Open for business. Scoring for Sheetar. You Are What They Eat. Archival interview with project consultant Eric Caden, and a theatrical trailer, TV spots, and a still gallery. And that's glaring terribly. So yeah, this is it's only 88 minutes and 1.85 aspect ratio. So yeah, like I say, just looks like a cheesy good time, and I always enjoy like cannibalistic movies, so it sounds like it's right up my alley. And yeah, I'll get back to you guys after it's over and let you guys know my final thoughts on this. See you then.
As you can see, the atmosphere is lovely. But of course, the finest attribute of this quaint cafe is the marvelous cuisine.
I'd give my right arm for that secret recipe.
Yes, the chef puts a bit of himself into every succulent dish. Oh, and he's always pleased to serve you to your friends. Shouldn't that be serve you and your friends?
The Blood Diner. First they greet you, then they eat you. No one under 17 admitted.
Alright guys, so just finished Blood Diner, and it was okay. It wasn't what I expected, I guess, entertainment wise. I mean, it had everything in it that I figured was going to be in it, but just didn't really do it for me. I don't know. Yeah, and only for being 88 minutes, it seemed a lot longer than that. I don't know. But just run through the story real quick. You got George and Michael, are little kids, left at home by themselves. They hear on the radio that this crazy guy evaded the cops after killing a bunch of girls, and then next thing you know, this guy's breaking down their door, and come to find out it's their uncle Anwar, and they don't even say anything about him being covered in blood or anything, and he's just talking to him about how much they mean to him and everything. And he sees that they've been making food with Play-Doh and everything, and he's like, oh, you guys are going to grow up to be great cooks and all this, and hands him these necklaces. They're supposed to be like 5 million years old or some shit, and you can tell they're not, but anyway, kind of tells them what they need to do when they get older and everything. And he runs out outside to where the cops are. You know, they track him down to this house, and he attacks them or whatever with the meat cleaver that he's got in his hand, and they gun him down. And then it fast forwards to like 20 years later. The brothers are digging up his body, take his brain out. There's a kill in there too with the night watchman for the graveyard or whatever, and they take his brain out, put it in this jar, attach some eyeballs to it, and bring him back to the diner that they own or working at, whatever. And you know, their uncle's brain tells them what they need to do to make this Sheetar character, this some kind of goddess or whatever. It's like they got to Frankenstein this woman together with all these different parts from all these different kinds of women. You need the stomachs from sluts. You need the lungs and liver from these type of women. You need like the blood of a virgin. You need different things like that. And so they go around killing all these different women, and to collect these body parts to make the Sheetar. And what's really weird is, when they brought their uncle back or whatever, they say like one phrase out of this book, this ancient book to resurrect the dead or whatever. And so it wasn't much of a seance in there, but anyway, so yeah, they're doing all this, and during this process as well, there's like some side story to the George character wanting to be a wrestler or something, and there's even a scene with him wrestling this Jimmy Hitler guy or whatever his name was, who I guess was an actual wrestler at that time, like an amateur wrestler. But yeah, they just kind of throw that in there for like no fucking reason. I don't know why, but and also this was supposed to be like a sequel to Blood Feast, is what the writers were intending. And I guess the director never even watched Blood Feast or anything. She just went in making this her own movie and like changed some things around and everything. So this isn't like, I guess, what the writers really envisioned. I don't know, maybe that's what kind of threw it off. But anyway, along with the story, yeah, you have two cops investigating the case as well, Mark and Sheba. And the Mark character is just like the worst actor I've ever seen, and just terrible. I don't know. I know it's supposed to be over the top, cheesy stuff, but he is just, yeah, not good at all. And the acting overall is pretty bad. But from watching the special features and everything, I guess they were so low budget they couldn't even get like the Screen Actors Guild involved or nothing. They just had to pick up actors off the street. A lot of them are punk rock people, and the character of Michael was actually like the lead singer of a punk rock group, and who died like 2 years after this film was made. Actually, I think he was like 28 or 29. Yeah, so after they collect all the body parts and everything that they need, they're supposed to have like this massive feast type thing, and they have it at this club called the Club Dread, and they hand out all these pills to these people, and it turns them into zombies somehow, and so there's another like side story to it there for like no fucking reason, and everybody goes mad and starts eating each other and doing all this, and while they're trying to bring the Sheetar back to life, doing this seance and everything. And you have like, she's got like this stomach vagina with teeth, and it needs to be fed, and I don't know. This movie was just kind of a mess. And do have like some good kills in here though. I mean, for its time at least. I mean, the special effects are pretty bad. There's scenes where the Sheetar character's shooting lightning out of her finger and like blowing people's heads off and things like that. And you got a scene where I think it's the character of Michael batters this chick up, and just batter and puts her head down in the fryer, and somehow he manages to knock her head off with a broomstick. I don't really understand that, but yeah. You also have like this guy that's always in the diner. Goes by Vitamin C. This big guy. He's like I don't know if he's like a food reviewer or what he is, but he's always in there getting like these veggie meals and everything, and going on and on about how good it is, and I could swear there's meat in here, and blah blah. Yeah, and you have a few scenes with him that are just over the top. I'm not gonna like give everything away, but and then you have another side plot of the guy who owns the diner down the street trying to figure out what their secret ingredient is and how they're doing so well. I mean, the brothers' diner is just getting all kinds of business, and they're doing real well, and they're even like selling their own shirts and doing all this, and so he's trying to figure out how they're getting so much business and how their food's so good, and stumbles across Uncle Anwar's brain and brings it back to his diner. Doesn't even make a big deal out of it or anything. He just wants to know what the ingredients are, and this guy's like crazy. He's like talking to this dummy the whole time and doing the voice for it and everything because he's so lonely. He has no business over there and everything. I don't know. This movie is just, I know I'm kind of skipping around and back and forth, but I'm just trying to think of stuff that stands out. But yeah, I mean, you have the nude aerobics in there for like no reason. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if that was like a thing at the time in '87. I don't know. I was only 5 years old. So and they go in there and gun all those girls down and use some of their body parts, leave the rest, and the cops are trying to figure out what's going on. They think it's like this biker gang called the Cannibals, and I don't know. And you have like the music to this movie, like, it was just weird, and you have like this punk rockabilly group at the end scene playing music the whole time. All these people are turning into zombies with like, I mean, all they had was green or blue face paint, and somehow they're a zombie, but they're just playing the whole time. All this shit's going on, and people are dying, and they just keep on playing, and like nothing's going on. But like I say, I understand it's supposed to be an over-the-top, cheesy movie, but it just fell short for me. I don't know. I mean, I'll give it another watch somewhere down the line, see if being in a different mood or whatever will make it better and everything like that. But it just wasn't much fun. I mean, it had what it needed to have in there. It just wasn't executed right. I don't know. It's just missing something. But and it leaves it open for a sequel there at the end. But yeah, sorry I was kind of like all over the place with this, but then again, this movie was kind of all over the place. I mean, overall, I give it like maybe a 5 out of 10. Like I say, it had some good, decent kills in there, and you had your nudity and your everything you'd expect from a movie like this from the 80s. So I'm not gonna down it too much here, but I mean, I appreciate what they were going for. I'm sure at its time it was something completely different, but in this day and age it doesn't really hold up too well with everything that's out there and everything that we've seen at this point in time. So yeah, so that's my review for Blood Diner from '87 from the Vestron video line from Lionsgate. Like I said, I give it about a 5 out of 10. Nothing special, but nothing too bad that I would never watch again. I mean, definitely gonna keep it in the collection and everything like that, and give it another rewatch somewhere down the line. But I mean, one thing I did like about this movie is it kind of had that American Psycho vibe to it, where, you know, the killers are all like just happy and just like normal people. I mean, the George character was supposed to be kind of like slow and not really all there, which you can tell. He's always like, he's got these big eyes and always trying to look crazy and everything like that. And then the Michael guy is the more calm and real nice guy, and always trying to, you know, seduce these women so they can chop them up and everything. But yeah, I mean, I like that part aspect of it, that it's not your typical serial killer style. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm sorry I was kind of all over the place, but yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Will be Waxwork and Waxwork 2, and that will be first time watch for me on both of those. And yeah, see you guys then. Later.